how Voldemort defeated himself. Hey, brother! Neither can live while the other survives. Such a vital portion of the prophecy that details the fate of Harry and Voldemort. Anybody else hear me say details? Details. But the more time I've spent with this sentiment, the more I've come to understand the full breadth of the idea, because this portion is different from one must die at the hand of the other. That part is the death half, but the living half has implications that seem to ripple through not only the story, but also Harry's entire selfless persona. And a line that I've always loved from Harry's final conversation with Dumbledore at King's Cross goes like this. It is a curious thing, Harry, but perhaps those who are best suited to power are those who have never sought it. Those who, like you, have leadership thrust upon them and take up the mantle because they must, and find their own surprise that they wear it well. And Harry is exactly this. He is incredibly reluctant to lead the DA, and it goes without saying that he is overflowing in modesty and makes the ultimate selfless act in the end to protect others. And he's managed all of this despite being raised by the Dursleys for most of his life, existing in an environment that is actively hostile towards him in every single step along the way. Also, have you ever thought about how exhausting it would be to remain mad at a well-mannered child for an entire decade? Like, I can't even imagine. I guess not all heroes wear capes, though seem to enjoy unusually long spoons.
Justice.
I digress. A common theory throughout the fandom, though, is the idea that the reason the Dursleys are so mean to Harry isn't just their distaste for magic, it's the piece of Voldemort's soul that resides within Harry. Think of it like the impact of the locket that the trio experiences during their hunt for Horcruxes and Deathly Hallows. Harry's own presence at number 4 Privet Drive is bleeding out of him and sowing discourse. And I will just go ahead and say that despite having made that very video myself, like a decade ago, I don't buy this idea even at all. The Dursleys suck entirely on their own.
I was the only one to see her for what she was. A freak.
But I still think there could be an impact beyond being linked with Voldemort's mind and Harry's ability to speak Parseltongue, a side effect of the piece of soul that resides within him. And it may just have everything to do with what made Harry such a reluctant and, to his own surprise, excellent leader. So today we explain how Voldemort, once again, sowed his own destruction. Hey, brother! Okay, we've often observed that Voldemort's worst enemy isn't really Harry, it's his own ineptitude and inability to formulate even a half-decent plan in his quest to conquer high school.
Dumbledore's been driven out of this castle by the mere memory of me.
And I know that's kind of a condescending description of his actual goals, but you know what? It's my video, and I kind of assume you agree with me anyway. But between Voldemort's desire to use Harry's blood, specifically in his resurrection, meant a year-long, wildly chaotic campaign to submit Harry through the trials of the Triwizard Tournament, only to, secretively abduct him at the very end. Super covert, man. Also, while we're on that subject, what do you figure happened the entire time Harry and Cedric were at the graveyard? Were the fans in the audience at the Triwizard Tournament just staring at the hedges being like, I wonder what happens next?
Kill the spare!
Avada Kedavra!
No! No! Cedric!
Genuine question. Does anyone know they're gone? Anyway, Harry's blood goes on to be a massive problem for Voldemort because it ultimately allows Lily's sacrifice to run in his veins, which means in the forest, Harry's actually bound to life, and we here at SuperCarlinBrothers call that a love crux. But a member of our own Discord server, Ryan OG, recently pointed out another possible ill-intended side effect of Harry possessing a piece of Voldemort's soul. Well, ill-intended if you're Voldemort, but then also Harry. This probably could have gone left unsaid. Which, by the way, Voldemort didn't even intend to do any of this in the first place. He was all like, Avada Kedavra, baby Harry! And then baby Harry was all like, look at me, I'm in the crib and kind of wealthy all of a sudden. Jeez, Harry, check your privilege, okay?
But I am the chosen one.
Yeah, we've heard. Anyway, you guys know what happens next. Spell backfires, Voldemort becomes Mr. Vapor or something, and Harry gets his wicked cool scar and a fragment of soul to boot. This kid is inheriting a lot of stuff on this particular evening. that soul doesn't impact the Dursleys as the theory goes, although it certainly does impact Harry, and as Ryan writes, it actively creates a narrative that lives in the back of Harry's mind, a narrative that tells him that he is not good enough.
I can't be a wizard. I mean, I'm just Harry.
No. That's exactly what he wants you to think, Hair Bear. Y'all, as long as we're chatting about inner demons, we should take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. There's a moment in the saga that I think so perfectly sums up today's message. Harry kneaded his forehead with his knuckles. What he really wanted, and it felt almost shameful to admit to himself, was someone like a parent, an adult wizard whose advice he could ask without feeling stupid, someone who cared about him. Now, we may not all have wrongly accused godfathers to turn to, but feeling a sense of shame over wanting to ask for help at all is all too common out here in the real world. And BetterHelp's 2026 State of Stigma report surveyed 2,000 Americans and revealed that 85% of Americans believe getting support is in fact wise, yet 74% say society discourages people from doing so. So that's not great. And if nothing else here at SCB, when we share messaging like this with you guys, Jay and I both are trying to tackle these statistics. We both attend therapy regularly. We believe in the process. So if you've never tried it out or are thinking about getting back into it, consider BetterHelp. They have over 30,000 licensed therapists and can help you find the right therapist for your goals. Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Start therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/super. That's betterhelp.com/super. Link in the description down below. Now back to the video. Keep spinning, man. You can do it. But when you think about it, Harry does have notable humility for being James Potter's own son. Of course, he's probably offset in many ways by Lily's innate goodness, but this is something that we here at SCB even tend to believe was part of Dumbledore's plan going into Harry's second year. I mean, just think about it. He discovers that he's a wizard, then that he's famous, then he makes the Quidditch team as a freshman, as the first person to do so in 100 years.
According to McGonagall.
Is actually good at Quidditch, defeats a mountain troll, overcomes the obstacle course guarding the stone, and then rounds the whole thing off with winning the House Cup.
Gryffindor wins.
So, think about it. If you're Dumbledore and you do James at all, who would wow, being super talented, was also arrogant and cocky and could, honestly really stand to check his own privilege, am I right?
Always.
Harry did inherit a bunch of things that night. No, but Dumbledore witnessing all of this could be worried it might go to Harry's head, like the lightning bolt scar. And so, how does he respond? By hiring... Me. That's Lockhart saying me, not me saying me, because, I'm not the teacher, but I would be, but probably, I don't know magic. He knows magic, but he's Lockhart, so it's hard to say how that would go. Yeah, Lockhart. Basically the best person to warn Harry of the dangers of fame.
Fame is a fickle friend, Harry.
But as effective as Lockhart may be at, this particular lesson, Harry obviously just doesn't need it.
Okay, sorry.
And yet, it almost feels like maybe he should. I'm not here to suggest that Harry was 10 points for Gryffindor away from...
Can everybody see me? Can you all hear me?
However, the boy does have some accolades to his name, and no matter how many more he stacks on along the way, we still have this.
It all sounds great when you say it like that, but the truth is most of that was just luck. I didn't know what I was doing half the time. I nearly always had help.
That sentiment sounds oddly familiar, and that's because it is. Voldemort himself delivers a near-identical line of thinking during their final duel. Accident when I decided to fight in that graveyard. Accident that I didn't defend myself tonight and still survived and returned to fight again. Accidents! Screamed Voldemort, but still he did not strike, and the watching crowd was frozen as if petrified. And of the hundreds in the hall, nobody seemed to breathe, but they two. Accident and chance and the fact that you crouched and snivelled behind the skirts of greater men and women and permitted me to kill them for you. Skirts. It's not Scotland. No, it is. To be fair, maybe Voldemort's version of it is a little bit more rude. But you get the idea. This sentiment is the beacon that the fragment of Voldemort's soul is emitting to Harry and his own internal line of thinking. That Harry is not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
What?
I'm not good enough.
No matter what he overcomes, he cannot build confidence or trust in himself. Sometimes I find Harry just to be a little bit too difficult. What's crazy about Voldemort's expressing this same sentiment back to Harry is that it's in the final moments. Truly, do or die. One of them is the Master of the Elder Wand, and we are about to find out who. And this is actually deeply ironic for two key reasons. The first is that it's Harry's modesty and down-to-earth nature that makes him the exact kind of leader that Dumbledore is describing in King's Cross. He has won so many battles. He's defeated the Basilisk and Diary Tom Riddle, fended off Dementors to protect Sirius, saved Buckbeak, fought a dragon, escaped the Black Lake with outstanding moral fiber, navigated the maze, and returned home from the graveyard with Cedric's body in tow. My boy! And even with all of that, he doesn't see himself fit to lead. But also, just as Dumbledore suggests, this is the kind of leader, no matter how unsure they may be about their own abilities, find to their own great surprise that they wear it well.
Every great wizard in history has started out as nothing more than what we are now, students. If they can do it, why not us?
Attaboy, Hair Bear. You can do it. This is what I mean, though, when I say that Voldemort defeated himself. He believes that power and strength are key. Fear and intimidation are what make for great leaders. He doesn't understand that he gave Harry the keys to the kingdom. But that brings me to the second piece of irony about Voldemort attempting to knock Harry's confidence back in this final duel. It's the timing. If the fragment of soul is what spoke such negative thoughts into Harry's own mind about his abilities for all of these years, then by the time Voldemort himself says it out loud, it's been destroyed by Voldemort. And the result? Harry is not only literally reborn, but metaphorically as well. He is a new person. Shackles gone. Listen to the absolute shift in his confidence, how he carries himself, because that voice of doubt is gone. I don't want anyone else to try and help, Harry said loudly, and in the total silence his voice carried like a trumpet call. It's got to be like this. It's got to be me. And then he continues. You don't learn from your mistakes, Riddle, do you? You dare. Yes, I dare, said Harry. I know things you don't know, Tom Riddle. I know lots of important things that you don't. Want to hear some before you make another big mistake? 4 years. Harry had internalized Voldemort's thoughts and opinions about himself. A narrative written by Voldemort, but not anymore. Actually, another string that I think can absolutely be pulled on this same subject is the power of the Dark Mark. Because after all, Harry's lone mark from the attack on him as a baby is the lightning scar. The scar that burns whenever Voldemort is close or feeling some intense emotion. This is oddly similar in nature to the behavior of the Dark Mark.
I think it's a warning.
Just listen to Snape here. This mark has been growing clear all year. Karkaroff's too. Why do you think Karkaroff fled tonight? We both felt the mark burn. We both knew he had returned. This stands out to me not only because of the similar behavior between the Dark Mark and Harry's scar, but also Harry's opinion of himself, Voldemort's opinion of Harry, and Snape, who says, of course it became apparent to me very quickly that he had no extraordinary talent at all. He has fought his way out of a number of tight corners by a simple combination of sheer luck and more talented friends. He is mediocre to the last degree, though as obnoxious and self-satisfied as was his father before him. Does that not sound amazingly similar to accident and chance and the fact that you crouched and sniveled behind the skirts of greater men and women? And for all that, Snape is expressing this long before Voldemort ever does, which can make you wonder whether or not the Dark Mark actually possesses the ability to mold Voldemort's followers into sharing his hatred to those that stand in his way. And yes, I know that, Snape hated James, so it's not hard to see, where that carryover could occur, but, he has also committed his entire life to protecting Lily's legacy, so does that count for something, too? Maybe?
Always.
Anyway, guys, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this one, both whether or not, that piece of soul inside of Harry is actually speaking negative thoughts to him the entire time, or whether or not the Dark Mark actually has the ability to, mold or influence the Death Eaters into Voldemort's agenda. Let me know your thoughts in the towel section down below. Otherwise, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future Harry Potter action from us. If you're looking for just a good old-fashioned laugh and or cringe, you can check out this video right here from 10 years ago where I talked about the possibility that the Dursleys are mean to Harry because he's a Horcrux. You could check that out if you want to. Otherwise, just never forget, ducks, they go in cups.
Whoa! How did this get here? Good God. Anyway,